guys, sorry this is taking so long. Yeah, I've been super fucking lazy. But, I spent probably 2 hours last night writing the notes for this, and then had a couple chimichangas and fell asleep. So, yeah, this is going to be kind of a special episode. I was hanging out on the phone with Branden Fisher, who is the host of the Sac'em Up Sundays podcast, which is a lot of fun, very explicit. So, much like we ourselves here at Redstone Diaries, they definitely earn their explicit tag. So, go and listen to them with that in mind. And, yeah, I got some shit to talk about. Yeah, I'll do the Facebook stuff first because there's only a couple of things. Tonight, January 4th, Jim Lee is going to be making an appearance at Dr. Volt's, it would seem, from 5 to 6:30. So, yeah, as much as I would love to go to that, I, have to work. So, that would be super fun. I'm going to miss it. And then at 7 p.m., the Urban Lounge tonight is the Free Kittens Show, hosted by my friend Jason Harvey and Greg Orm, whom I'm sure is super funny. And this show is going to be featuring Elizabeth Leach, Chad Benjamin, Lamar Kellywood, and Amara Ames. So I've seen 2 of those people perform, and they're really funny. So that'll be great. You should go and check that out. And, I did not write down the ticket price on that. I believe there is a ticket price, I just can't remember what it is. But, again, with these Facebook stuff, the Facebook things, you can look them up on Facebook and get all that information that I was too dumb to remember for this. And tonight at the Beehive, Andy Farnsworth is headlining. And that show will be featuring Pt.2, Madeline Clark, and Fists in the Wind. It's going to be hosted by my friend Primo. That will be from 8 to 10 p.m. tonight. Tickets for that are $6. And Wise Guys this weekend. Big J Okerson is going to be headlining downtown. 2 shows each night. And ticket price $20. Nothing was sold out from what I saw last night. So you should be good. And let's see. Keith Stubbs is going to be doing his own show at the Ogden Wise Guys at 8 p.m. tonight. And the ticket price there is $12. And tomorrow night at Ogden is going to be Seth Tippett's. That will also be $12, also at 8 p.m. So it's going to be tomorrow night instead of tonight. And Jordan Landing this weekend, Jacob Lee is going to be headlining. It's going to be 1 show each night, tonight, tomorrow night, 8 p.m., $15. And then my friend Trevor and some other friends are going to be doing a show at Wise Guys, Crowdsourced Comedy. They're a local improv troupe, and they're pretty funny. So, that'll be January 8th at Wise Guys downtown. $5 to get in the door at 7:30 p.m. Alright, I've got some newsy things. So, of course, nerds have been shooting off their mouths again. I guess there's a figure of Nick Fury for the upcoming Captain Marvel movie, wherein the figure just has like a slight green tint to the eyes, so of course everyone's like, oh, he's a Skrull. Yeah, it's most likely not. There was an interview with someone who works for, I forget which company manufactures those toys. But yeah, he said it's most likely a production thing, where, paints and plastics interacting, and yeah, don't read too much into fucking action figures for movie plots, jackasses. And there's a lot of cool, science stuff that I want to kind of discuss by itself, maybe later. And, I forgot I was going to pull this information up. Okay, so Batwoman did get ordered for a pilot on CW, and this is gonna, I imagine, fit into the Arrowverse, since she appeared in their Elseworlds crossover event that happened. Was that October? God damn it! I still have to watch that. I'm super pissed I have not yet. But it looks like they've got David Nutter directing the pilot, who I guess he's been helming a lot of Game of Thrones. So I imagine that's a good thing. And then Caroline Dries from Vampire Diaries, she's going to be writing script and executive producing. So that should be pretty good when that finally comes out. Because, I mean, I'm super excited for it, having not even seen her yet. So, let's see here. More DC stuff. DC Comics. They made a nice little homage, tribute to Stan Lee. So, looked like it was a full-page memoriam that they were putting in their books. I believe all of them. I don't know specifically, but I imagine all of them. Because even though Stan was the Marvel man, he did work at DC at some point, because everyone always does. Most comic book writers and artists will, go between the big two, as they're often referred, DC and Marvel. And even when he wasn't working for DC, he always referred to them as the distinguished competition. So he's always been a good guy. And yeah, I'm glad to hear that they honored him in some way. So that's good. And then James Wan promises a gothic horror romance element for the Swamp Thing series that will, I believe it's going to be on the DC Universe, or available through the DC Universe app this year. And yeah, I mean, I wrote here 2019. I don't know when this year, but I imagine they're at least in principal photography by now, because they announced that a couple months ago, I would think. And Birds of Prey is expected to wrap, I presume, filming in April. They probably won't be completely done. I imagine post-production would take a couple months. But that's helpful. And if you can look up the Playback podcast, there was an episode with Kevin Feige talking about Black Panther, because it is up for some sort of award, Academy Awards. I don't keep up with any of that shit anymore, or ever really. Although I did notice that they announced the Golden Globe presenters, and one name they mentioned in particular was Harrison Ford. So, I know, let's see here. Halle Berry, Chadwick Boseman, Jessica Chastain, Kaylee Cuoco, Jamie Lee Curtis, Dick Van Dyke, Idris Elba, Harrison Ford. I'm looking for people I know. Felicity Huffman, Allison Janney, Michael B. Jordan, William H. Macy. Sweet. I'm a huge fan of William H. Macy. If for no other reason than he managed to get Felicity Huffman to fall in love with him. Because she is a great person. And I've had a huge crush on her for a very long time. Lupita Nyong'o, Mike Myers, Gary Oldman, Sam Rockwell, Ben Stiller. So yeah. That looks like it'll be fun. And the Golden Globe Awards are going to be held January 6th, 2019. And Punisher Season 2 is finally coming out January 18th. So I can't fucking wait for that. So excited. And then, Magic the Gathering. They're releasing their new set January 25th. Ravnica Allegiance. They're doing the pre-release events for that, the 19th and 20th. So my plan is to get people together and do our own booster draft and review on the 20th, which is Sunday. And my plan is to do stuff on Twitch, and then ideally put out some of that content in the podcast later on. We'll see. I already ordered my booster box from Oasis Games here in Salt Lake City. So, yeah. Well, as long as my idiot friends show up, we should be able to get something done with that. And then, some terribly, terribly sad news. Mark Hamill tweeted the other day something that made me very sad. Mark Hamill's tweet, and I quote, "For over 50 years, Bob Einstein made the world laugh, both as a writer and an actor. His passing is a major loss to the world of comedy, and I am forever grateful to this comic genius for the lifetime of laughs he gave us." And, yeah, I'll admit, I'm an idiot. I didn't know his real name. I always knew him as Super Dave Osborne, who was a kind of a parody of Evel Knievel. And he had a really good Saturday morning cartoon for at least 1 year, probably 2, maybe 3. I don't know now. It's been so long. That was like early 90s. And yeah, he was a really funny guy. And yeah, he had a great part in at least one, maybe a few episodes of Arrested Development. He was damn it. Yeah, he was Michael Sr.'s surrogate when he was under house arrest. Yeah, Bob Einstein was the guy who was wearing the hat with the camera in it, and acting as the voice for the dad. So, I'm very sad about that. He was a very funny man. Oh, and thank you, Mark Hamill, for tweeting that so I would know. Alright, well, that's pretty much all I've got. And I need to start heading into work now. I mean, I'm sitting in the parking lot, but yeah, I need to get going. And my plan is to ideally get this all edited and get the episode out, ideally by the time I leave work. But we'll see. I still saw some content I need to listen through and edit. But yeah. Alright, so you guys know all the regular stuff. ComicShedRadio.com, Twitter and Facebook, Redstone Diaries. And, if you can't find us through that, you can search for me, Tim Flood, on any of those things, and you'll find our stuff. And, yeah, I'm still working on the Instagram stuff. So, yeah. I'm not off to a great start in this first week trying to get shit done finally, but we'll see. Couldn't possibly get any worse. And, there's Comic Shed Radio Hotline, 801-900-3154. And, yeah, I think that'll do it. And, see you guys later. Hey, sorry. A couple things I forgot to add. Season 2 of The Orville has started. So there is one new episode there, with another episode coming out Sunday night. I believe it's Sunday night. And then, there was something else. Oh yeah, The Gifted is back. I'm going to catch up on that. There's at least one new episode for that. And yeah, this is very late now on Friday night. And earlier, Jim Lee, famous comic books creator and co-publisher for DC. I believe that is one of his current active titles right now. And yeah, he came over to Dr. Volt's tonight. So that was cool. And the plan was for him to be there from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And at 6:35 p.m., the line still stretched all along the building. And that's the point at which he decided to come out and just walk down the line and sign everything for everyone. So he is a super fucking cool guy. If you're not a fan of Jim Lee, you should definitely look into his stuff and become a fan. Yeah, I managed to get my Batman poster signed because that is a seminal Jim Lee piece of art. So yeah, that is one of the things I have hanging in my poker lounge / study. Right next to my print of the cover from Green Lantern Green Arrow number 85, signed by Neil Adams, which is another one of my absolutely most favorite pieces. Because that is a very important piece of art. If you're not familiar with it, look it up. It has a most interesting history. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that stuff out there real quick while I am still not yet done editing this. So now I'm done, and let's plan on Saturday for this episode to come
I feel like there's still time for a turnaround. Not with this generation, but like the kids from that generation. I could kind of see like a little bit of hope within it. I need to at least. I need to see it.
Well,
like it's like how like the hippies became the business savvy Reaganites of the '80s, who then birthed the fucking melodramatic people of the 90s, who then created these super pussy fucking millennials of the 2000s, who will then create, who knows, and the cycle's just bound to fucking repeat itself.
I really want to believe that, but the biggest problem is education, and it's not being taken seriously in this country, and that's so frustrating.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah,
Who knows? I mean, who knows how long this country will who knows what the future is going to hold within the next fucking 20, 30, 50 years,
Well, the next 5 are pretty iffy, as is, so...
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where you fall politically, but, I mean, I don't like the situation right now,
I try to avoid it, just like, I don't mind talking about it. I'm just very ignorant as far as what's going on in the world today, just because I can't listen to it anymore. It just gets me so damn riled up and angry. Yeah. I've never liked Donald Trump, but not even from a political standpoint, just as a person in general, I've never been a fan of the man.
Yeah.
That being said, I also don't feel like we would have been necessarily better off with Clinton in the office. I also don't believe that the president has the level of authority that everybody thinks that they have. They seem to be more like a poster child for the country. Well, but I also spend 24 hours of my day talking out of my ass, so I mean, I don't know much.
Yeah, well, no, you're right. And the president is nowhere near as powerful as people like to think that he is. And the thing that angers me most about that particular election, where it was Clinton and Trump, is that there was just shit on both sides. I mean, like, I don't participate in this nonsense because, as I've explained already, there's no fucking point when you live in certain places. Because, regardless of how the election turns out, churches are still going to do whatever the hell they want. So,
right.
But I've been saying this for years, is that if everyone just chose not to vote one time they couldn't get done the things that they need to for an election, which means they would have to get rid of these bullshit options, and I say that in quotes, that they give us, and find some legitimate candidates who are actually capable of doing the job.
Well, see, I would go a step further and actually make it so that your vote matters, because I don't really think that your vote actually has any say as to what's going on.
No, it doesn't. Especially with the way the United States political system is set up. Essentially, the vote of the people is just only effective in electing the people who are going to vote on the things that actually mean anything.
Right, which is like who are those people,
And that's the big problem, is that no one voting for anyone knows anything about these people, and they're just politicians who are saying what they want you to hear so that you will vote for them and then pay them. Because that's all they do, is just, rob the the coffers of the various levels of government, whether it be federal, state, local, whatever, and just take whatever money they want and tell you that they're doing what's best for you, and they don't do shit.
That might be a smart call.
But yeah, it's just that people keep pulling their same bullshit because they believe there are no consequences to their actions.
Oh yeah, and I do think that shit needs to be I'm all for taking everybody out and starting fresh. Don't give politicians the amount of money that they get, and don't give them the ability to be fucking persuaded by other fucking outside interests.
Yeah.
But it's also easier said than done too, people are greedy, bloodthirsty fucking savages at heart.
Yeah, and that's the problem, is I've always known that I never wanted any of that kind of responsibility, which of course makes me the ideal person to take on that kind of responsibility. But
I couldn't do it. I know in my heart of hearts that if I was to be given any level of power to that magnitude, I would use it for pure evil.
See, my problem...
not like Hitler levels of
right.
evil, but I mean, I would totally use it for my own personal gain.
Well, see, that's the thing, is, myself too. It would look evil from the outside, but at the same time, I'd be taking away people's illusion of choice by forcing them to actually go to schools and to, learn things, like how to read by the time they graduate high school.
Yeah, but you be doing that for the betterment of mankind and shit. I would have been doing things for my own personal enjoyment. And it's why I know I could never be a cop, because if I was a cop, I'd be a dirty cop.
Yeah, that does sound like fun though.
It does, doesn't it?
And hell, there are no rules, so why not?
Yeah, if Samuel Jackson and Ethan Hawke can be dirty cops for a little bit, I don't see why I couldn't have my fun with it.
That's a fair point. I'm gonna go become a cop now.
Let's do it. I mean, I've seen Police Academy, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be a breeze to get through this. And I can try to make sound effects too, so it might help.
Yeah, we do need another. What was his name?
Michael Winslow?
Yes, I kept landing on Winslow, and I could not remember his first name. Yeah, we always need another Michael Winslow, because that guy was hilarious.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's still alive.
I know, but I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I don't think he'd want to come back for our Police Academy reboot.
No. But I'm sure Gutenberg is available, because what the hell else is he doing?
Yeah, that's true. He's last I heard, he was doing awful monster movies on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Really? Oh,
yeah, not it's like Lavalantula or Sharktopus. Sharktopus was a good one.
Holy shit!
Yeah, like Sharknado really started something with the Sci-Fi Network, where they're just like, we're going to take a monster or just a regular animal and then make something crazy about them. Like Lavalantula is literally what it sounds like, where it's giant fucking tarantulas that just spew out lava and shit. It's insane.
Oh, see, I haven't had live TV in probably 12 years now because I just haven't been able to bring myself to, pay for cable anymore.
But, dude, neither do I. Like, I've been a notorious like film pirate and shit forever. Like I pay for my internet, but I also have the Fire Stick, and the Fire Stick's got Kodi on it, so I can watch fucking like whatever for free if I need to. So I'll Google like weird fucking movies or whatever's coming out, and then I'll just look it up on there.
That's cool, because I've heard about that, and I just haven't taken the time to really like research it at all.
Oh, what, the Fire Stick?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a perfect system. Like some days it works great, and then some days I can't get it to work at all. So it's a real crapshoot. That's why I like to have Netflix as like a backup just in case. But I mean, other than that, it's pretty sweet for what it is.
Well, yeah, because there was a while I was looking at all of the streaming services, and this would have been like a year ago, where there was Netflix, Hulu, HBO Go, the Showtime app, and then maybe one or two others. And if you had gotten all of those together, it would be like $55 a month, and you would ostensibly get everything. Whereas cable, I've read that the average bill is $120. So, yeah.
Cable's not worth it, man. And I give it like 5 to 10 years, and cable is going to be a thing of the past. Like, I can see it coming, where like all these streaming services are just going to take over the same way that like Redbox and Netflix took over Blockbuster. And then before you know it, like Netflix and Amazon Prime are just going to take over like the whole aspect of going to a movie theater. So that's going to go away, just like the days of the drive-thru.
That'll be kind of sad, because I like going to the theater. And
I'm a big fan of it.
And real quick, I'll touch on this for a moment. Have you heard of the Twitter account Lone Blockbuster? I think that's what it is.
I don't believe I have.
Yeah.
Lone Blockbuster?
Yeah. A friend of mine had posted something about it on Facebook the other day, so in the image for that article, it had one of their tweets and it said something to the effect of just send me a text message and I'll swing by to open the store for you. And yeah, from what I read, it's a really funny account. I can't remember if I got this one yet, but
I got it right here. It's the last Blockbuster that's opened up. It says located between 3rd and Main. Oh gosh, not part of Blockbuster corporate. We are all on our own. So some the Blockbuster guys decided to keep just faith. That's some shit. And they last posted 4 hours ago, so they're still doing this.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
I just
crazy.
Pulled it up. There are a couple there: Lone Blockbuster and Last Blockbuster. I think I'm gonna have to follow both of them.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was still a thing.
Yeah, I don't know that it is, but it's a really funny Twitter account. So.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Follow that shit. Shits and gigs.
Seriously. Yeah, I just realized that I did not look into that when I found it, and I had been meaning to.
Well, I came across Scan BC, which is the British Columbia Police Department. They have a Twitter handle where they show all their activity and stuff, and it's the most ridiculous crime stuff, reports of a man who was trying to break in by climbing through the second story, and the homeowner knocked his ladder down, so now he's stuck on the roof. Or man caught robbing a gas station with pants down. Just the most ridiculous non-crimes you could imagine.
Is their avatar image just a radio?
I believe it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just found that. I'm gonna follow them now because that sounds great.
Oh yeah, it's genius. Like I'm working on a game for my show, Sac'em Up Sundays, where I take some of the best of clips from ScanBC, and then I try to make up some of my own crimes that might fit within those, and see if my co-host can try to guess which one's real.
That sounds great.
Oh yeah, I like trying to make up fun games like that for the show. Like I'm developing a hyper realistic version of the game of life.
So
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But it's not gonna be like the Parker Brothers thing. It's gonna be complete random chaos, and the board is gonna be like fucking massive. I'm gonna end up trying to like have to master how to do video pods for this one, but I'm trying to get a massive like network of shows together to play like all these games that I've got together. I got a lot of plans for that shit, but it's a lot of work getting done.
Oh yeah. What kind of devices do you use, like your cell phone and your recording and all that?
Well, right now I record through a standard USB mic. I don't have like a mixing board or anything like that. It just goes right into the laptop, and I record through Audacity. When I do guest spots on my show, I'll usually record either through a Messenger, like what I'm doing now, or I'll go to Uber Conference. I've had pretty good success with Uber Conference.
Okay.
And it'll actually record the call while you're doing it, so you don't have to do anything, and
Nice.
then it'll email the file to you as soon as you hang up the call.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah, so there's no like no weird shit that you gotta go through, no loops or nothing. You just make the call and then hang up, and that's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've got some recommendations for you. If
All right.
if you're looking to get like equipment and all that, check
Yeah.
out the Wish app. It's one of those not.
Oh, I've used Wish.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've gotten like 4 or 5 microphones from that, like some Shure microphones. I've got
Really?
Yeah, I've got SM58s, and if you went to like Guitar Center to get those, they would be like $120. I got each of them, counting shipping and handling individually, maybe 25 each.
No shit.
Yeah, yeah. You can get a lot of decent equipment through Wish, relatively inexpensive.
So I never thought to use it for like the big technology, like tech stuff. I used it a lot for like pet toys,
Right.
and just fun stuff like that, like random parts for my drones and shit. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's definitely worth looking into.
yeah. If you just start searching like microphones, then it'll start showing you other things like XLR cables, which are the cables that you use to plug microphones into like mixing boards and things like that. And I've got a great little device from IK Media where it has an XLR input. So that is what I use. I connect the mixing board to that, and then it has a 3.5 millimeter jack that you can plug into any cell phone, iPad, tablet, whatever. And
Oh, nice.
yeah, so that's what I've got, transferring our conversation onto my iPad and recording it in IK Media's Vocalive app, which is what I use to record and edit. So, yeah.
Oh, right on. I've noticed the one thing from using Wish is that I've got to you got to read like the specifications as to like how big this items that you are getting. Like I ordered a weed grinder off of there. It was actually like a free thing that they offered me. So like yeah, sure, why not? Just pay like the 30 cents for shipping. And then 3 weeks later, this grinder comes in, and I'm expecting it to be like your standard size grinder, but I shit you not, dude. Like this thing is just barely bigger than a nickel.
Seriously, damn.
Yeah, it's like I could barely break up a hit's worth of shit off this thing. It's fucking ridiculous.
Oh, that's adorable.
I know, and that's the only reason why I've kept it is just because I can look at it and be like, oh, isn't that cute? I got giant hands.
Yeah, I ordered a jacket off there once that I was going to use for a costume going to the Fan X or Salt Lake Comic Convention, however you view that now. And I normally wear like a medium to large t-shirt, so I normally get like a large jacket, and that's what I got. But then the jacket eventually showed up, and I tried to put it on, and I could not even fit one of my arms through the sleeves. Because it was like a Chinese large, which is like a women's small. Yeah, or a stupid American's extra small. It's just
yeah.
So you definitely want to be very careful when ordering clothing through there. But a lot of the electronic stuff I've ordered has worked out pretty well. I've had a problem with maybe one microphone out of the 4 or 5 that I've purchased, and
that's not too bad.
No,
I mean, considering that it's like coming from a warehouse in China, and then it takes like 3 weeks to get to you.
Yeah, seriously. And and then there are a bunch of great apps and things like that for like filmmaking and video recording and all that. I use iPhones and all that, so I don't know the availability on Android devices.
Oh, I'm sure there's options. I've just never really looked into it. I'm only like 14 episodes into the show right now, so like the whole idea of like making it a video thing, I'm still trying to figure out how I'd pull that off. I mean, right now I'm just me and my co-hosts only have the one microphone that we use between the both of us.
Right.
So it'd be nice to get a much better setup, and in time it's going to happen. It's fine because I'm not rushing anything, so it gives me time to get the games and all these special events ready to go.
Yeah.
So that when I am ready to put video up, it's going to be quality content.
Yeah. Let's see. Like I said, there are a lot of great apps, and I bought a GoPro at Costco like a year ago now, and there's an app where you can record video on the GoPro, but then record audio directly onto your cell phone. And then
really,
yeah, and you can, when you're done recording whatever video, you can it'll mix the audio and the video together, and then you can transmit it out to whatever it is you use to edit video and things like that. And that works pretty well. We used that at the last FanX last September. We used that to record some interviews on the event floor.
I was gonna say, do you do a lot of cons?
Well, I do the FanX every year, because when the first FanX that they did up here in Salt Lake was 2013, and months before they announced that, I was talking to a friend of mine back in LA, and I said to her, we need a Comic-Con up here. What do we need to do to make that happen? And she just said to me, probably for someone to do it. And I was like, that's a good point. And then And then like 2 months later, they announced the first Salt Lake Comic-Con. And I've been going to that every year because, since I moved up to Salt Lake City proper, it's right down the street from my apartment. So it's been pretty sweet.
Okay. Yeah, I went to my very first one this last summer, actually. I took my son up to the Raleigh SuperCon, and I mean it's not like a San Diego Comic Con or anything like that by any means, but it was a lot cooler than I expected it to be. I got to meet William Shatner, and then I got him to re-quote his line from the Twilight Zone, where he's like, "There's a man on the wing of this plane."
Nice.
And it's awesome because I'm sitting here like doing that, and then my son's 8 years old, and he's looking at me like, "Who the fuck is this guy that you're talking to?" And then I got to tell Lou Ferrigno to fuck off. I walked over and I shook his hand and stuff, just trying to be nice because nobody was at his fucking booth. And I'm like, oh, poor Lou. So I just walked over to try to be pleasant and shit. And then I asked if I could get a picture with him, and he tried to charge me $120 for a picture.
Yeah. And
I'm like, man, like you're riding the coattails off of a role you did like 40 years ago, man. Like no.
Yeah. He's kind of notorious for not being so sociable at conventions. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed that. So I mean, it's all good. But it was still a fun time. I mean, I learned the hard way that I need to go there with a lot more cash this next time around.
Yeah. Well, one thing I've been telling everyone whenever I talk about it, because I talk about it a lot, because I'm that big of a nerd, is that
Right on.
if they have any interest, or they have children who have any interest in doing anything professionally, like drawing, painting, acting, working on cartoons, working in comic books, writing, any of that, take them to these conventions, because there will always be scores of panels where people are talking about doing it professionally, and you can meet people who do these things professionally, and kind of get some advice and get a lot of like rare art and things like that. And
oh yeah, well, that's what got. I mean, 'cause he's big on drawing. He wants to keep going with it, and I love the painting stuff, so I'm all for pursuing artwork. And when we went there, we came across a couple booths that were selling animation cells.
nice.
And his eyes would just light up when he saw them. And I really wish that I had the money to get the ones that he was wanting, because I mean, they weren't cheap.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize how expensive animation cells get. But I mean, it's nice to see him like get interested in something that's not like Fortnite.
Yeah.
Or like I mean, I'm cool with playing like him playing video games and stuff, but it's nice to see like other interests come out of him as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and again, like that's what I tell everyone, is if you have the slightest interest in doing it, go to a convention one year and just talk to some of these people and see if that's really something that you want to get into, because it's so easy now. I mean, I've got another friend who is as interested in doing like voice acting as I am, and then I've got a friend that I work with, and he's actually doing that. Like he's a musician also, but I recently learned that he's been like producing audiobooks for a friend of his, and he's been putting together reels so that he can send them out to talent agencies and start getting work to do that. And
oh, nice.
And again, you can do all that shit with your cell phone now. Like 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's insane the power that this little thing has.
Yeah, and I mean, I've got a bunch of great little microphones that I can just plug into my phone, and I've used them to like record my sets at open mics and things like that, and they work spectacularly. So,
well, I got that Zoom H5 handy recorder. I love it. But the main thing I've been using it for lately has just been a lot of ambient soundscapes, like rain and like windy days and shit like that. I love recording white noise.
That's
and
cool.
Finding the right places to put it. But I mean, I was thinking about it as I'm walking through this con. Like, it would be so awesome if I had brought in that thing with me and just talk to a couple people, even if it wasn't like people that were like working the con, so to speak, just like random Joes. And like you meet a lot of interesting people. You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, because that's something that has kind of become our tradition now. Because with our our website and our podcast that we've been doing, I've been getting press passes to the Salt Lake Comic Cons, or the FanX Salt Lake Comic Convention, as we have to say now because of San Diego. But
oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, so
have you gotten to meet anybody like higher up in the nerd like echelon, so to speak?
Well, this last show, I finally had some of my friends show up on time, so we could go. Like what they do with the FanX is they'll have like kind of an opening press conference before they actually start the event and open the convention center and all that. So they'll have a handful of celebrities hanging out and doing interviews. So this last show, I talked with John Wesley Shipp for a few minutes, Paige O'Hara, who was the voice of Belle in Disney's Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, okay.
And she was also in Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Nice.
Yeah, because she did the voice of Belle for that. And then I talked with Manu Bennett, who was Deathstroke in the Arrowverse shows, and Jess Harnell.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and Jess Harnell, who's been doing cartoon voices for probably 30 years, and he's a super cool guy. Like, they're both fun to talk to, and because I've gotten an interview with both of them at the same time, and yeah, and okay, I did not get the video of that into the podcast feed, but you can go to the website Comedy Shit Radio. I've got the video linked up on there, and yeah. So
I'd love to be able to do something like that with the show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it would be like for the conventions near you, but if you go to their websites, they will usually have towards the bottom, like it'll say like press or press information, things like that. And
well, see, I feel like I would have to come up with, I guess the right term would be appropriate questions, because like the sort of stuff that I would ask would be like, because I mean, I don't know if you had the chance to listen to the show yet, but we get pretty gruesome and vulgar with the shit that we ask.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would ask them a question like, what superheroes would you put in a human centipede or some shit that they would just be like, oh, ha ha ha, and just not really get into it.
Well,
so I may have to tweak my material just a little bit.
Well, there are some people that you could get away with asking questions like that. You would just have to figure out which ones. But yeah, I mean, like.
But I mean, even if it's like an awkward interview, I'd still use it on the show. I mean, that's fucking.
Oh
that's
yeah,
brilliant.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, when we did these interviews at FanX, I didn't know who I was going to be able to talk to going into it. So when we got there, I had my iPad and my cell phone, and I used my old iPhone, my 5S. I used that to record the audio when I was actually speaking with them. And then my iPad and my iPhone 6S Plus were being used as cameras. And then I just kind of cut all that together on my iPad Pro. So.
Oh, nice. Did you have any brief moments of fanboying out?
Well, I've never really been like starstruck because, like where I grew up, it was common to, see like Emilio Estevez walking down the street. So, and like I actually did that once where I was walking down the street to In-N-Out Burger one night, and Emilio Estevez was just out walking or something too. So. Yeah,
I guess that's true. When you sort of grow up in that environment, it's kind of second nature.
Yeah, so I didn't really stumble over myself. It's just I didn't have any questions prepared because I didn't know who I was going to be talking to. So I felt in the moment, and I could see it again when I watched back over the videos. I have moments where I'm clearly trying to think of what to say next.
You just get real awkward and just start asking about the weather and shit.
Well, it wasn't really awkward, but yeah, the weather did come up. Just because. Well, I mean, at that time, because this would have been last September, it was hotter than shit here, and I personally don't like the heat. So, the reasons I moved to Utah from LA was to get away from the heat and my mother. And now that she's dead and it's hot as hell up here, there are a few reasons for me to not go back home. So.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. I'm a New Englander. I grew up in Connecticut, and I just recently moved down to North Carolina 2 years ago. And I'm not big on the cold, but I miss the snow. Yeah. But I can't handle this fucking heat, man. I don't know why I moved down here. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I've had to explain to far too many people who should have been able to reason this themselves. If you're cold, you can put on a jacket. If you're hot, you can only
take so much off. Yes.
And when you look like me, it's far less than everyone else when I'm allowed to take off. So.
Yeah. I got no problem stripping down nude and shit, but it's gonna make a lot of people awkward and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So, but yeah, you should definitely check out conventions, and I believe on Wish, definitely on eBay, if you just search 3.5 millimeter microphone or TRRS microphone, you can find a lot of great microphones you just plug into your cell phone and record great audio that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm definitely gonna be looking into that. I mean, I got some big plans for the show, and a lot of it involves like taking it on the go and out of the studio. So that's definitely something I gotta look into.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was also gonna say with the video, there was a really cool app that I found called Switcher, and what that does is it allows you to connect to multiple mobile devices, and you choose one to be your control center or whatever. And you can control like which feed you're recording or like streaming out to like Periscope or Facebook Live or whatever. So
really, is that's interesting.
Yeah, because it's a subscription based service. It's like $30 a month, I want to say. So I haven't played with it outside of the free trial yet. But yeah, I would take one of my iPads and then just get the video going on my other iPad and my old cell phones, and it will show you different screens for each video feed, and you just set one up set one up as a preview, and then you tap it again, and it's live.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and then you can also set it so that for example, with my setup, how I would use that in my studio is I would connect the mixing board to the control center, and you can use the one audio while switching to the different videos. So you can
okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of great shit out there.
I'm like so like tech ignorant as far like I'm still learning like how all this shit gets together. I'm the last person to like know anything like as far as like mics or like even social media shit. Like I just jumped on Twitter for the sole purpose of the show. I still don't know how the fuck it works. But it's nice to like get input from other people on shit, especially those who have done it a little more than I have.
Yeah, I'm still figuring out a lot of it, but I've gotten some of it to work passably. So yeah,
it passably works.
But yeah, and like I said, I use iPhones in that, and there's this company called iOgrapher, and they make these cases for iPhones and iPads and things like that, where they will hold the device, but on the back-facing camera, there is a socket where you can attach a couple of different lenses, and it has the screw so you can attach the case directly to a tripod, and they work fantastically. They're some of my favorite things. So yeah, those help a lot with the video making also.
Sweet deal.
So yeah, by all means, if you ever need help with any of that, let me know, and I can work out something.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I'm sure I'm going to be keeping in touch with you, especially if you're interested in the voice acting stuff. So I got some projects in the works for sort of like Sac'em Up Sundays, Masterpiece Theater, and I'm always looking for like extra voice actors to come in and help out with it.
Yeah, definitely. And if you need more voices, like I said, I've got friends who are interested in it, and I can get people together, and because that's another thing that I've been wanting to do is when I fix up my studio a little bit more, because I still have less than ideal setup with the microphone stands. But when I get more like tabletop stands and this looks a little bit neater in here, I want to start doing like actual like storytelling podcasts and things like that.
So, like legit like radio plays and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like
that'd be fucking sweet.
Yeah. I finally listened to what is it? Oh, Marvel Comics put out this podcast called Wolverine: The Long Night, and that was interesting. I mean, not the best like storytelling podcast I've heard, but it was still pretty good. So,
nice.
So yeah, I'd like to do more stuff like that. I just need to again get off my ass and start writing shit. So
it'll get there.
Yeah, I know. I just Yeah, my plan is, like, I don't do New Year's resolutions and shit like that because
Oh no, man, that's a fucking waste.
I know, and I've been saying for years that I spend every day making myself better than you humans. So a New Year's resolution would just slow me down. But I've decided that with the new year starting, I'm gonna, like I said, start going out to open mics again and get more serious about writing and getting things done. So.
Yeah, there you go, man. I mean, only good can come from it. Like even if you write something that's bad, it helps you with the process. And
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, if I get the chance to, when you guys finish checking this out, be sure to listen to us over at Sac'em Up Sundays. Follow me at Twitter at Sac'em Up Sundays. We're everywhere. iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Castbox, Podbean, fucking anywhere you think of, we're there. I've got a bad tattoo contest for the show that I'm working on, where I'm looking for bad tattoo submissions. And the winner of that contest will get their artwork will get done on my body, and they'll also get a lifetime supply of free merch from the show. So I'm looking for tons of submissions for that. That ends March 1st, actually. So people need to get that shit in as soon as possible, and they can send it to me over at Twitter.